Hey there, you bunch of nerds. Do you like anime? Of course you do. You clicked on this video for a reason, right? Well, in that case, I welcome you to my YouTube channel. I'm your Weeb Boomer host, Misaki. Why Weeb Boomer, you might be asking? It's kinda simple, really. I feel like weeb is a term that we can globally agree that in 2020 internet terms basically translates to a young cadet that's just started watching anime. To weebs, anime is a magical land of weird and different shows that's super special because it's not the popular thing. So it sets them apart from the normal people. Young weebs mostly know about 6 different shows, and 99% of the time think whatever's the newest hot show is the greatest thing that's ever been made on this earth. But hold your horses, kiddos. I'm not insulting you in any way. I'm honestly praising you for having an interest in this wondrous world that is anime. Besides, you're still new around here, just like every other weeaboober like myself was once. One day you will acquire a more refined taste. Maybe you already have, and you're interested in hearing about the personal journey of another fellow weeaboomer who's seen a bit of everything already. From the typical filthy casual taste of shonen and slice of life, to niche pieces like the Tommy Galaxy and Fully Cooley. There is a bit of everything for everyone here on this channel, so if you're interested in observing the cycle of an old anime fan, do consider liking and subscribing for this channel, not to mention clicking the bell to be notified of new videos. And if you like other things besides anime, such as Western animation, books, movies, games, and more, you can subscribe to my sister's channel, Dara the Shallot, if you haven't come here from her shoutout already, of course. So with that being said, let's get on with episode 1 of Anime Weeaboo Diary Reviews. So to give a bit of context, I started watching anime around late 2012, early 2013. The hot new shows were much different back then from the ones today, and the community was much smaller and nicher. It honestly feels so crazy to me to think that how much anime grew in popularity in less than 10 years. But I digress. I used to watch anime back in the good old days, such as Pokemon and Dragon Ball as well, without knowing what anime actually was. But after that period of my life, I stopped watching it for many years, until I was introduced to the genre again through YouTube. But before I talk about my anime enlightenment, let's talk about the good old school shows first. Pokemon, Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Dragon Ball. There were actually 2 more shows that I used to watch as a kid, but those were extremely niche shows that nobody really knows about, so I feel like I should honor them by making separate videos just for them. So first to start with the shorter diary entries. Oh, hold on. You thought I wasn't serious saying that these were diary reviews? Well, guess what? I used to genuinely write down every single anime I've ever watched. I didn't even know Mal was a thing back then, so every time I watched a show, I would number it, say its name, and give an analysis and review for it. God knows that I didn't have anyone to talk about the shit with. Where else was I supposed to express myself? Everybody around me only cared about High School Musical, soccer, and makeup. We didn't have online communities to bond over our degenerate tastes. But anyways, I didn't write much in my journal about Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh! The only thing I have here is... One is a stupid card game, and the other is a cheap Pokemon ripoff. Never liked either. Alright, calm down. Jesus, let me defend myself. I was a kid, so of course I prefer most of the popular ones such as Pokemon. I thought it was the original of the 2. I know now that that's not the case, since if Digimon got any inspiration, it was mostly from Tamagotchis, which were these little pet monsters you had to take care of back in the 90s for all those Zoomers watching out there. And even if one was inspired by the other, their official releases were only 1 year apart, so I doubt there was any major ripping off going on. They both have stylized and thematic differences. However, I just never really cared for Digimon as a kid, and to be honest, I probably never will. But I'm sure there is good quality to the show, since a lot of people grew up with it and really love it. Same thing with Yu-Gi-Oh! I remember trying to watch it as a kid, but I was never able to get into it because I just didn't really get it, man. Like, the game rules seemed so freaking complicated, and I was confused as to what was going on most of the time. So in the end of the day, I didn't really fancy it much either. So since we already touched on the topic, let's talk about Pokemon next. As many of you are watching, I grew up with the show. I'm pretty sure every 90s kid was obsessed with Pokemon at some point. If not, they at least knew it well enough from all the media, toys, and other kids talking about it. Even a Latino like myself grew up with Pokemon. Most people around me, however, didn't really play the games, including the card games, because I was raised in a third world country, so video games and card games were just not too much of a big thing back then. But anyways, I was obsessed with the show. I straight up had the biggest crush on Ash when I was younger, and I wish I could join him in his adventures as a Pokemon trainer. By the way, Charmander is and always will be the best starter. But alas, I grew older, moved to a different country, and started watching more Western cartoons. I slowly forgot about my obsession with Pokemon. Back then, I thought that the first season was the only one there ever was going to be as well. With the passing years, I started seeing other female companions going with Ash on his adventures, or as I like to call them, inferior Misties, and realized Pokemon was still going. New seasons, new characters, and new Pokemon. And on it goes and goes. Forever. But at that point, I just didn't really care for Pokemon anymore. I lost my interest, especially at the newer series of Pokemon. I was one of those degenerates that said, all these new Pokemon are garbage. The only good Pokemon is the classic Pokemon. But thankfully, I grew out of that. Modern gens are filled with beautiful, lovely pocket monsters, all of different designs and types as well. And if people still enjoy it, then what's the harm in that? But alas, it just wasn't my thing anymore. But I salute all Pokemon fans out there, since overall, be it anime, card game, or video game, you could say Pokemon is pretty great. Finally, to wrap up my childhood a little bit, let's talk about the last anime I used to watch as a kid, Dragon Ball. So which one of them did I watch as a kid? Honestly, I don't remember, guys. The biggest thing I remember is that Kid Goku could turn into a giant violent monkey if you cut his tail or something. According to a quick Google search, that was Dragon Ball Z. So for the sake of it, let's say that was the one I watched as a child. Just like Yu-Gi-Oh!, I got lost easily while watching it, and I didn't understand what was going on most of the time, so I never got really into it much. But unlike Yu-Gi-Oh! And Digimon, I grew up respecting Dragon Ball a lot, because it was the most popular cartoon for boys growing up. And it was the only traditional shonen that I knew at that time. Traditional action shonen anyways. Is Pokemon a shonen? I don't know. But my point is, especially in the Latino community, Dragon Ball is still a beloved show by many, and it was the one anime everybody knew amongst older audiences. And considering I loved violent action, boyish things as a kid, I couldn't help but always respect it. I would never watch the whole thing or turn on an episode to watch for myself, but still, that's a respect. I watched around 300 animes more or less, including movies and excluding sequel seasons. I have about 6 different journals of thoughts, notes, and reviews, so I definitely have a bunch of content to be able to make videos for a while. Not every video on this channel will be a diary review like this, however. I do plan on expanding my creativity on anything otaku and anime related that I wish to make. For example, I'm not sure if this video is going to come first, or maybe it's going to be next week's video. But I do plan on making 2 videos on this channel where my 3D counterpart talks about an anime convention that happened in 2020 and what was it like to go to an anime con during a pandemic. So please check that out when it comes out. If I have a lot to say about any specific anime or anime movie that is special to me in some way, I will make a video separate to it. For example, next week's video. Or in 2 weeks? Not sure. I'm still trying to figure things out, guys. But with that being said, that'll be all for today. If you like this video, smash that like button and click the subscribe as well. Don't forget, click the bell to be notified of new uploads. I tend to upload every other Saturday, but this month is going to be a little bit special, since I am planning on participating on a YouTube collaboration project at the end of the month, so definitely look forward to that as well. Before I leave, I would like to give you guys a question. What was your favorite anime growing up? Leave your comments below. I definitely will read them. And if I really like your comment, I might be reading them at the end of my next video. All that being said, I hope you have a wonderful evening. I'll see you later, cousins. TTFN.